we're going to be doing a little bit of Pilates work. Maybe we call it like slightly higher intensity Pilates or bar style work on the mat without a chair, without standing up even. So we're going to kneel, we're going to sit, we're going to lay on our sides, we're going to lay on our backs. And you really don't need any equipment. I have a couple of light weights here, but you could use anything that's kind of a small object that's got a little bit of weight to it. Canned goods work totally fine. I really wouldn't pick up something heavier than 2 to 3 pounds for this anyway. For some of the exercises, maybe you could handle more, but a lot of them, especially the shoulder ones, you probably don't want something very heavy. So we might even just call this like Barlates, because it's a little bit of Pilates, it's a little bit of bar, we're just kind of blend it together. So let's get going. So we're gonna go ahead and start, whether you have weight or not, with just a little hip hinge, setting the hips back to the heels and coming up. So keep your shoulders over your hips and think about squeezing your glutes to take your hips up. We're gonna get a little bit of warmth in the quads doing this as well, but also, of course, again, we wanna think about the glutes doing some work. Now, if you have any issues with your knees and sitting back like this is a little too much, you know, make it a little smaller, that's okay. You can also hip hinge instead, or come from the knees and lean back if for whatever reason that works a little better for you, but for now, heels to butt and come up. Now, whenever you're ready, if you don't already have some kind of weight with you, let's go ahead and grab that. And we maybe let it hang down for a little bit, but eventually what we're gonna do is we're gonna scoop and lift. So when we're at the bottom, when our heels are next to our hips, we're gonna go ahead and scoop the palms to the ceiling. Keep a little softness in the elbow, a little present. We're scoop up with those biceps, scoop and sit. And then as you're ready, you're gonna push your palms back. So it's the biceps, then the triceps. Bicep scoop, tricep press. So scoop and press and scoop and press. And let's take 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Now stay tall, and you're gonna take your thumbs up. So as we bring those arms forward, you wanna stop at shoulder height. Your thumb goes up towards the ceiling, candlestick grip. We're taking it up and down, and let's take 2, and then we're gonna take a circle. So we're gonna go up, out, down, front, side, lower, forward, outward, down, up, out, lower. So probably, if you're not in a nice open space like I am, make sure that you got a little room on either side of you so you're not gonna clock your cat or dog or your child or your spouse or hit an object in the room that you didn't wanna break today. And 1 more, up, out, down, and let's lift up and take little pulses. Pulse, pulse. We've got 4, 3, 2, now hold it up, and you're gonna draw the bottom of a circle with your weights right here. So it's a little bottom half arc. Thumbs to the ceiling, draw the arc, pinkies to the ceiling. We go thumbs up, pinkies up, and this exercise right here is the one that makes you go, I don't want anything heavy, pinkies. And last one, thumbs and pinkies. Now, we're gonna go ahead and come forward. I'm gonna turn to the side, but you just come straight forward. I'm gonna take my weights so that they are parallel to the front line of my mat. I'm gonna go out and in. So, the pinky is gonna go out towards the ceiling. I'm gonna squeeze between my shoulder blades and take that arm out to the side. I'm not gonna open my hips or my chest. I'm just gonna go side and center. So I'm gonna have to use my core, engage my core to keep it squared. And last 2 and last 1. Now I'm gonna take that arm straight back. So the inside of my wrist, again, faces up, little press with that tricep. And I've got 2, and on this last one, I'm gonna hold it up and pulse the weight up, 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 for 4, 3, 2, hold it up, pulse the weight in, like you're gonna take that weight behind your hip to the opposite side of your body, 2 and 1. All right, bring it down, roll on up, and let's start over. I'm gonna face side for part of this one this time. Palms are up, and we scoop, and when you're ready, sit with your scoop. So bicep scoop, squeeze the glutes as we come up. We get the legs and the arms, gives us a little way to get warm. And also, we're 2 body muscle groups at the same time. Let's take 2, and next time, press it back. So it's a scoop and a press, a scoop and a press. Sit, press, 2, and 1. Now take the arms up. Now, I don't want to knock over this nice screen behind me, so I'm going to go ahead and turn to the front. but again, shoulder height. Now take it to the side instead. So we're gonna make a T, 2, and then you're gonna circle side, front, down. So it's side, front, down, out, in, lower, side, front, down, out, in, lower, out, in, lower, out, in, lower, last 2, and 1. Take it up and pulse, pulse, almost done with the shoulder exercise. 4, 3, 2, hold it up, bottom of the arc, thumbs down, pinkies down, or pinkies up, thumbs up. So here, if you've got a bigger object like canned goods, you're probably going, I don't know about this. So you can always do this with air weights. Pinkies, thumbs, meaning holding nothing, pinkies, thumbs, take those pinkies out and pulse, not too many. Pinkies to the corners for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now take it down, your other arm is moving. So again, I'll turn to the side so we can see what's happening with my arm. And if you want to, if you don't want to grab on to whatever you're holding, you can always tense your fingers around the weight. And that other arm is gonna go out and in, out and in. So I'm looking down at the floor, I'm keeping my neck long, I'm pulling my belly into my spine, shoulder down away from the ear, bottom corner of the shoulder blade always in the back pocket to keep those shoulders down. 3, 2, and 1. Now bicep or tricep press, the back of the arm, not the front. Did you catch that? Are you good with anatomy? By the time you finish doing all these at-home workouts, I bet you know all of your muscle groups just as well as any personal trainer. Press back and in, 2, and 1. Now press it back and pulse it up, up. So make sure you're moving from back here, not in the elbow, not in the wrist. Now hold it up and press it inward, inward, inward towards the opposite hip behind your body. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, put it down. Maybe take a little roll out. Take an arm across and then switch it out. Alrighty, so we've got plenty of time to get all of the things. So what I'd like to do is kind of alternate between upper body, lower body, and abs a little bit if we can. So let's go ahead and sit on our mat and let's get into your quads, meaty part of the front of that leg. So what we're gonna do is sit tall. We're gonna have our toes pointed, shoulders down and back. Now you can have your hands behind you using your arms for a little bit of weight, support of the weight here. You could also, if you have a chair or something near you, something to hold on to, you could use that. But you don't have to have your hands down at all behind you. You can take them kind of lightly to the side, or you can even take your hands right here in the middle. So I'll do a little bit of everything, but I want you to point your toes. We're gonna keep the kneecaps pointed up as opposed to rotating outward right now. And we're just gonna take that leg up and down. So one leg starts. I don't care which one you start with, but you just have to switch when I ask you to. So if you've got your hands behind you and you're putting some weight into your arms, just make sure your shoulders are staying down and your neck is staying long, you're sitting tall. 3, 2, and now let's go back to the other leg. Just up and down. You're gonna keep your legs straight, squeeze your quad, and take your leg as high as you can. Now we're gonna do 3 rounds of work here, 3 exercises. The first time we do 1 exercise. When we switch, we're gonna do 2 exercises. And the third round, we do 3 exercises. Last 2 and last 1. Exercise 1, first leg, up and down. So starting with 1 exercise, building to a second, up and down. So every set is a little longer. And again, maybe we take the hands to the sides. Last 2. And next exercise, we're gonna draw a rainbow with our big toe. Now, I can make this rainbow really tall. I can make it shallow. Taller is gonna be a little harder. I can also make it wider, which is gonna make it harder as well. So you get to decide. Last 4, 3, 2. Let's go to the first leg or second leg, the other leg, whatever, and down. Lift and lower, up and down. So if you wanted, right, we wanna make it harder, hands come away, sit tall, keep your posture nice. At least for this time that we're together, we're gonna practice good posture. 2 and 1, let's draw that rainbow, take it out and in. Tall rainbow, or wide rainbow, or short and small, right? It could be really little as well, you decide. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back to first leg, first exercise. This time for real, first leg, right? Up and down, lift and lower. So squeeze your quad, lift your leg nice and high. Last 4, this time we get 3 exercises. 2 more, and last 1, now draw the rainbow. So out and in, out and in. Big or small, wide or narrow. 4, 3, last 2, and last 1, last exercise, we're gonna lift up, bring your knee in, extend your leg, and put your foot down. Slightly quicker, we go up, in, out, and down. We're up, in, out, down. Up, in, out, down. Last one, up, in, out, switching legs, straight up and down. First exercise. Now look how high that leg's going because you've had a little bit of recovery time, right? Lift and lower. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Draw the rainbow. Out and in, out and in. Small or tall or wide or narrow, you decide. 4, 3, sit tall, don't forget, I know it's getting hard. And last 1, and slow first, lift, bend it in, extend it out, put it down, quicker, so it's up, in, out, and lower. Lift, bend, extend, replace. Up, in, out, down. 1 more, up, in, out, and down. And shake it out, come out over those legs real quick, kind of release those hip flexors. And let's move on. So let's get a little bit of inner thigh and also start to warm up the obliques. So let's come onto one side and we come into this exercise. Couple of options here. One is that we can be propped up on our forearm, keep the chin and the chest away from each other, but also the ear away from the shoulder. And then we just want to make sure we're sitting nice and tall, lifting the ribs. Now we're going to take this top knee down, or we bring the foot down and we grab onto the ankle and we're moving the bottom leg. Now when I'm propped up, I can't lift my bottom leg up as high, but if I do that, I am going to get a little more work in my obliques. On the other side of the spectrum, if I come down here, we still get oblique work, not as much though. We do get a lot more in the inner thigh. My preference is to come down here, but you know your body, you know what you need, so take what you need. Bottom foot flexes, and we're just gonna lift it up and down. Squeeze the inner thigh and lift your leg as high as you can. Now when you're down here, whether you've got your knee down or your foot down, that's totally up to you. If you have issues with tight hips, that's me. I run all the time. I do a lot of high intensity work, and so that means that my hips are super tight. I don't like to have my foot down, but that might be a better choice for you. So take that one if that works better. Don't worry about what I'm doing versus what you're doing, as long as we're doing the same exercise and we're switching at the same time. Last 2 and last 1. Now I want you to lift your leg up, kick it forward, back in, put it down. So it's up, forward, in, and lower. Up, forward without bending the knee, and lower. This comes from way up high in the inner thigh, and now to the back. We go up, to the back, in and down. And even here, you have to watch your objects around you. In and down, lift it up, kick it back, in and down. 1 more up, kick it back, in. Now put it together. You're gonna go up, forward, in and down, then up, backward, in and down. Up, front, center, lower, up, back, center, lower. Again, up, front, center, lower. Last one, up, back, center. Lift your leg up and pulse, pulse. Right now you've got a flexed foot. We're kind of taking it on a steady rhythm that's in my brain somewhere, right? 4, 3, in a second I'm gonna ask you to leave that. 2, and 1. Now point your toes and pulse faster, but just make sure the movement's coming from way up high in the inner thigh. Don't bend your knee, don't bend your ankle. Faster if you can. Don't worry about staying on a beat or staying together. 3, 2, and 1. Bring it out, tap out that bottom foot, shake it out real quick. While we're here, let's go ahead and get some outer thigh too. I just decided on a whim to make you do that. So let's go ahead and take our legs out. I want you to go ahead and bring your feet to the front corner of your mat. Again, we can be propped up a little higher here or stay down lower. It's really up to you. While you're out here in that front corner, just make sure your hips, your shoulders, your knees, your feet are stacked. And we're gonna point up and flex down. We point and we flex. So keep your shoulders stacked. And of course, I kind of reverse that for a second, which you can absolutely do if you want to, just to change things up. 2 and 1, we're gonna take it up and we're gonna tap, tap front, big toe, lift, tap, tap back, lift, tap, tap, lift, tap, tap, lift. We've got 4, 3, if you wanna use Pilates breath, you can. 2 and 1, good. Now take it here, I want you to kick it forward, back to center, up, back to center, to the back to center, up, back to center. So when you kick, your hips stay stacked. We don't arch our back to get there. Backward, center, up, center. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. If the breath is a thing for you, right? Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Good, and one more time, we're gonna go forward, upward, neutral spine back, lift it up. Good, now take your feet in line with your hips, your heel up, your toes down, exhale up and inhale lower if you wanna use your breath. Now, here's the thing. You wanna make it look almost like you've got a broken ankle. If you don't have that kind of look of having a broken ankle, we're not gonna get that pure abduction, abduction, outer thigh work. So heel up, toe down, awkward foot. Looks like we broke our ankle, but the heel goes up, the toe goes down. You've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now bring that leg over the top, pat it out, shake it out, loosen it up, and we should be good to go on the other side. So let's go ahead and flip it around. We'll get our inner thigh and our outer thigh both. Stack the shoulders, hips, knees, and feet. Bring your feet, actually just kidding, bring your knee down or your foot down. Squeeze your bottom leg. Inner thigh is gonna take your leg up and down, up and down. So while you're here, again, keeping your neck long, your shoulder down. As I mentioned, if you're propped up here, if you wanna be, you're gonna feel a little more oblique work, but even when you're down, if you take your hand right here onto your obliques, you're gonna feel them grip on and help you lift your leg up and down, especially when we start to kick it forward and backward. Let's take 4, 3, 2, and let's start to move it to the front. So we'll take it up, to the front, center, and lower. So again, if you decide you want to do this with more of a traditional Pilates breath, it would be inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. In through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth. It's a little quick, so we'll get your heart rate up because you're going to be breathing fast. You don't have to do that. You can move on the beat with some music that's probably around 126 beats per minute. That's going to work best. One more. Forward. And now let's go to the back. Up, back, in, and down. Squeeze to lift. Leg goes back without bending the knee or the ankle. It's up, back, in, down. Watch out for objects. Back, in. Now put it together. Let's go up to the front, to the middle, and down. Up to the back, to the middle, and down. Up, forward, center, lower. Do you feel it? Up, back, center, lower. So whatever you do, don't bend your knee. If you feel yourself not doing any inner thigh work, maybe use a mirror in front of you the next time you do this. Last time, up, forward, center, lower. Now to the back, and take your leg up and pulse it up. Up. We've got a flex foot. We're kind of on a steady beat, again, one that exists in my head, which is rolling around 126 beats per minute. So if you find an app or something you like to use on your phone to give you continuous beats per minute, find songs that beat. Now point at the toes, pulse up. Faster than that if you can, but you don't have to. At a certain point, one of the legs for me always is like more uncoordinated, and that's this one. I just kind of feel like I'm flopping around like a fish out of water, and that's okay if that's you. That happens. 4, 3, 2, and 1, and bring it down. I like to tap out my bottom toe. Feels pretty good to me. We're gonna take those legs and stack them, and we're gonna bring the feet around to the front corner of the mat, hips, shoulders, knees, feet stacked. If we're propped up, fantastic, but you gotta keep your neck long, your shoulder down, and the ribs lifted, obliques underside engaged. Otherwise, we're gonna point up, flex down, point up, flex down. Keep your hips stacked and make sure that your chest and hips are squared to the side, not the ceiling. Just a couple more here, just so we're starting to get the outer thigh warm. Now lift, tap, tap, lift, tap, tap front, lift, tap, tap back, lift, tap in front, lift, tap in back. Just a few more. Again, the point of this is more to get you warm than anything else, but you could spend more time doing these particular exercises for just work their last set. To the front, and now to the back. Now lift it up, float it. You're gonna kick it forward, center, lift, center, back, center, lift, center. If you want your breath, you exhale on your kick, you inhale on your return. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. So it's a kick, return, kick, return, kick, return, kick, return. And the hips stay stacked, no arching the back, no rocking the hips, even if that means smaller. You'll notice that my back kick is smaller. That's not just because there's plants behind me, that's also because I really want to keep my hips stacked and stay in a neutral alignment with my spine. Last set, lift it up to the back and lift it up. All right, we're gonna take the legs back in line with the hips instead of the front corner of the mat. Heel down, heel up, toe down, flex foot up and down. Pure abduction, abduction. So if you're ever trying to come up with a way to remember the difference between those two muscle groups, I think adductor means I'm bringing something together. So add. Abduction, it's not the same as adding, so it's taking away. Abduction, take it away. And we're taking the outer thigh, mostly doing the work here. It shouldn't take too many of these before you start to get kind of upset with me. Let's take 4. If you don't feel it, toes down, heel up. Check the ankle, 2, and last 1. All right, bring it down, pat it out, shake it out, do whatever you need to do here. And let's go ahead and roll over onto our back. Let's start to get into a little bit of ab work. So we're gonna go ahead and take the hands behind the head, elbows wide, and we're gonna crunch up and down. Chin away from your chest, airway open. It's easy to breathe. Slide your ribs to your hips, and then we're gonna start to bring our knee in and out for a marching crunch. So I'm gonna pull my leg up into table. Imagine a string wrapped around my thigh. It pulls in as I crunch, in and out. Let's take 2 more. Last one. Now bring your feet together. We're gonna crunch, lay back. Now while you're crunching, I want you to kind of think right now we're pressing the thighs together. When you crunch next time, I want you to take your knees apart, open, and close. So this is a modified version of what we call a scissor reach. So we can keep doing this, or we can take our hands and reach overhead and in between. Now if you feel pretty good here and you want to change the legs, we can go out and in. We can also do that with just a crunch here. And I want you to take your legs as far out as you can without kicking a wall. Whatever works for your body. I gotta kind of watch it because I got stuff in my way, but you know, far out as your legs let you go. 2, and last 1. Good, now lay back, legs to table, hands behind the head, and we're going to take a twist, extend your top leg, bend your knee, back to center. Twist, extend, bend, table. We're gonna check that coordination. Up, in, table, just a little bit of a hold. All right, now let's go to a regular crisscross. Twist, twist, twist. So think about taking your elbow toward the opposite knee, making half of an X shape from your rib to your hip on the opposite side of the body. 3, 2, and 1. All right, lay back, cross your right leg over your left, and then I want you to just go ahead and lift your legs up and down. I'm gonna start really easy here. I'm just gonna move my legs with my shoulders down. When I'm ready, I'll take my hands behind my head, and I'm gonna go ahead and lift my hips off of the mat and pull my legs toward my upper body, keeping that figure 4. Now let's hold it at the top, extend, bend, come back down. So it's up, extend with the hips lifted, and lower. So it's a crunch, extend, bend, release. Crunch, extend, bend, release. You've got 2, extend, bend, release, 1, extend, bend, release. Let's switch sides. Other leg crosses, start little, just a lift. When you're ready, start to lift your hips up to bring your knees towards your ribs. When you're ready, lift your shoulders up, lift and lower, up and down, and let's add it on. So let's lift up, hold it up, extend, bend, and down. So my hips are lifted when I straighten my bottom leg. Just getting a little deeper into the low abs. Extend, bend, and lower, up, up, in, and down. Just a couple more, and down, up, extend. You know for me a couple is 4, right? Up, extend, bend, and last one, up, extend, bend, and release. All right, I want you to lay back. Hardest thing we're gonna do at the very end here, legs out to 45 degrees. And then I want you to pull your knee in at the same time your elbow to opposite knee. Come back out. It is a reverse bicycle, kind of like a crisscross. We sometimes call those by the same name, right? But now we're gonna go out to the corner instead. If that's too much, take your legs straight up or give me a regular bicycle instead. Let's take 4, 3, 2, speaking of a regular bicycle or crisscross, regular. We're gonna switch. So my legs can be higher or lower here. Higher is gonna take some of that intensity out if I need it. Lower is gonna make it harder. Low as you wanna be. And if you wanna make it the hardest option yet, let's go straight legs to finish. Switch, 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 switch. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Big arrow stretch and reach for those abs. Arch your back, press your ribcage up towards the ceiling. Good, and then let's bring the spine back to neutral. All right, I'd like you to go ahead, pull your knees into your chest, quick stretch here. Drop your knees to one side, keep your shoulders down, and then take your top leg and extend it. Let's get the side of the leg. We can look up to the ceiling, we can look back towards the opposite hand, and this foot might be floating here as well. And then let's go ahead and bend the knee. Bring your hips back to neutral. Take the soles of the feet together. Pull your ankles and your feet towards you. Push your elbows into your inner thighs. Get a nice little reclined butterfly inner thigh stretch here. And then let's go back to a bent knee position, neutral spine, arms to the sides. Take your knees away from your device if you took them towards it last time, or vice versa. Looking up or looking back, spinal twist. Extending your top leg as straight as it's willing to go. With the room that you've got, maybe you connect to your foot, maybe you don't. Maybe your leg is floating, maybe it's touching down. And then let's go ahead and come back into a neutral spine. And then either use your leg to pull you up or let's roll up to seated and let's put ourselves in a tabletop really quickly to get you a stretch. So we're gonna bring our right foot forward between our hands. I'm gonna give you my outside leg, which is not my right leg, but it might look like my right leg to you. Take your chest, lift it up nice and tall. Take both arms up, big reach up towards the sky. And then I want you to take your right hand down by your right hip, reach toward the floor, lean over, look under. And then let's windmill around to the inside. Roll to the outside edge of your foot on the pinky toe side just to open things up a little bit. And then come back into neutral. And we're switching. So let's bring the other foot forward, press your weight forward, make sure your knee's safe. Lift up nice and tall. And then go ahead and drop your hand that is closest to your front leg. So if it's your left, it's coming down. Lift and lean. I'll be lucky if I don't hit more objects. Yesterday I taught a HIIT format online and I hit a ceiling fan when I was doing a burpee. It was really fun. And come back up. Take your hands to the big toe side of your foot. Move your foot to the outside edge of your mat. Roll to the outside edge of your foot. Open up a little more space. Bring it back to neutral. Bring it back in. And we are done. So thanks guys for doing a little workout with me. If you like that, we'll be doing a few more, keeping them short or making them long. And you stay safe and sanitize all the things. Bye.